So first I started off by folding a piece of A3 paper in half like this. And then what I did was I drew the outline of the rainbow onto one side of the paper, just using a pencil. And you want to make sure that it touches the edge of the paper, as you can see. And then I just drew on the stripes. And I ended up doing this off camera because it ended up being a little bit challenging, but I think it turned out pretty good in the end. And the stripes still aren't perfectly even, but that's fine. And I also drew two clouds at the bottom, as you can see. And I just used this image here as reference. And I decided to use A3 paper instead because I wanted to make the squishy a little bit bigger. But you can of course use whatever size paper you want for yours. So now on to the next step. So next what I did was I coloured in all the stripes using felt tip pens. And then what I did was I outlined the clouds using a black felt tip pen or a marker. And by the way, you do not have to use felt tip pens, you can use just regular colouring pencils if you want to. And also, by the way, if you are going to be using felt tip pens, then make sure to unfold the piece of paper and make sure that it's on the surface, because you don't want it bleeding through the other side of the paper, if that makes sense. And again, it did turn out slightly messy, but that's okay. Still think it looks really good. And also I did end up missing out one stripe in the rainbow. So that's what it looks like so far. So now on to the next step. Next, what I did was I covered the whole thing with clear tape, and then what I did was I cut out the shape using my scissors. And now you should have two pieces, but you want to make sure that they're still connected at the bottom like this. And then it is up to you how you want to decorate the back. You can choose to draw on the stripes on the other side as well. And I decided not to do that for mine, so instead I decided to just write "Thank you NHS" on the back. Because I'm making this to say thank you to the NHS, of course. And I also covered the other side with clear tape as well. So that's what it looks like. So now we can move on to the next step. So next what I did was I started taping the squishy together, just using some more clear tape. So basically what you want to do is you want to take a piece of tape like this, and then you just want to place it on the edge of the squishy. So like this, for example, and then you just want to take your scissors and just make small slits like so. And then you just want to fold them down really carefully. And you want to do that for the whole thing, but you want to make sure to leave an opening somewhere so that way you can still add in the filling. So now on to the next step. So next what I did was I started adding in the filling inside the squishy. And by the way, it is up to you what you want to use for the filling. I decided to use cotton balls, which is what I normally use for paper squishies, but you can use plastic bags or pieces of foam, for example. And you just want to place the filling inside the squishy, and then I just used a pencil just to push around some of the cotton balls so that way the whole thing was filled. And then lastly what you want to do is you want to tape up the opening just using some more clear tape. And then once you've done that, your squishy will be done. So here is what the final squishy looks like. And as you can see, I taped up the opening. And it did turn out pretty soft and squishy, but not slow rising, obviously. And I'm pretty happy with how this turned out. And I especially like how the colours turned out, because I like how they're a lot brighter because I used marker pens instead of colouring pencils this time. I also think the shape of the rainbow turned out really good as well. And again, you can make yours whatever size you want. And again, I know it does look a little bit rough, but I am slowly getting better at making paper squishies, like I've said before. So, yeah, I really hope you enjoyed this tutorial, and as always, please feel free to request any more squishy tutorials you would like me to do in the comments below. And I really hope you enjoyed, and thank you so much for watching. Bye bye!